Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Christi Silva. I'm Chief Behavioral Health Officer of Fusion Care Group. Thanks so much for joining us today. I had a great question from someone the other day that asked, what are my thoughts or suggestions for being able to come back from COVID? What's our new normal going to look like? And I thought it was an excellent question because in therapy we deal with this a lot. There are a lot of our clients that have horrific scenarios in their life of things that they've had to overcome or deal with. And so COVID is one of those that we are all experiencing all at the same time. So in therapy, what we try and work on and build is resiliency. And resiliency has been studied over and over again. It's that ability for some people to be able to take a horrible situation and overcome it, make sense of it, and in some cases be able to use it to be stronger and healthier and happier. And so what we first want to do is address the situation. So in our lives, we're all going to experience good and bads. That's what we talk about in therapy, is that the lack of control that certain scenarios bring in our lives make us feel anxious or depressed. And so the first part is to look at these scenarios and say, how much control did you have over these situations? Did you have any control? And with COVID, the answer is no. None of us have control, but it's a global situation that we are all experiencing all at the same time. And so we're given the opportunity, I think, at this moment to be able to reevaluate our lives and figure out first how we're going to cope with this situation, and then what do we want to do with this information? How do we want to come away from this stronger and healthier and happier? And so in life, what we do know is a fact that bad situations are going to happen to us just like good situations are. And sometimes we can't control those situations. And so what's important is to look at the emotions that come along with these scenarios. So I think validating and expressing and reaching out and getting support during this time is huge. And what's really nice is that we're all going through it. So being able to reach out to your friends, family, support group and say, I'm having a rough time. This is really stressful for me. I'm worried. And finding those people that will support you. So that's the tricky part, is some people are going through their own scenarios and they just don't have the capability or the energy to support you in the way that you need support. So what I tell people is, what does support look like? Support looks like you going to someone and walking away from the scenario or the relationship feeling, I got something here. I feel connected. I feel happy. I feel like I was listened to. And if someone is not able to provide that at that moment, my takeaway is to try and find somebody else. So it's okay to change your support group. It's okay to add to your support group. And that's what's important about support group, is that you're not just reliant on one or two people, that you have a group of people that you can go to that are able to support you. And also, and vice versa, is that sometimes it's important for us to support other people. So when we have the strength and we have the ability, reaching out to people, those people that you think might be going through a harder time, and asking them, how are you doing? What do you need? What can I do to help? One of the other things that is super important is being able to connect with the idea that sometimes we're not in control. And that's really challenging because we have certain image of how we want things to be. And so when we keep going through life with this image of how we want things to be, what it ends up doing is causing friction or chaos or stress or frustration. So I want you to imagine that if you are going down a river in a raft and you keep trying to fight the river and you go over to the side and you keep paddling, well, eventually the river is going to win and it's going to take you where it needs to go. And I like that analogy because that's kind of how life is. There are some things we can control. Sometimes we can have the paddle and we can move in a different direction. But majority of situations in life are goods and bads that we just have to manage and deal with and welcome. So COVID is one of those scenarios that we don't have a lot of control over it. But just like in therapy, what we want to do is look at the rational. We don't have control, or where do we have control? What can we do to make our situations better? And then we want to pair it with the emotional. And so the emotional is, how are you feeling? And how are you coping with this? What do you need more of? What do you need less of? And balancing those things, I think, allows us to validate our own needs and our own desires. And it doesn't really stop there, because therapy isn't just about identifying emotions. It is about connecting with a larger meaning coping in a different way, restructuring your life so that you can get more of what you need. I think that COVID is a fantastic time right now to reevaluate all of our lives. I know in the last 10 years, I've seen a huge change in my clients, in that everyone is super busy, super stressed out, lacking that meaning in their life, and kind of going, is this it? I mean, I've worked and, you know, I'm doing the family thing, or I have this great career, I have this great car, but I don't feel that connection inside and that sense of meaning and that sense of peace and contentment. So I do feel like the universe is giving us time to all slow down. And sometimes that's a little bit scary, because the way we've normally done things has been fast-paced and working very hard. But I think it's a good time for all of us now to reevaluate what is important in our lives. So I want you guys to do a little activity where you look or write down or explore all the things that you absolutely hate right now. So for me, it's being cooped up. I'm an explorer. I like to go out and I like to do things. And so being cooped up for me is really hard. And so now what I've had to do is flip that. So a fun little exercise is everything that I hate and can't stand in the reversal is probably something that I need to explore within myself. So what is it about me that has a hard time sitting still or relaxing or enjoying the, you know, simpler things in life? What is that about me that resists that? And so it actually is an opportunity for us to really explore those things inside of ourselves that is difficult or challenging. So I want you guys to see things in more depth, that sometimes the things that we absolutely hate and scare us and terrify us actually have some kind of meaning in the back end if we flip them and reverse them. So one thing is gratitude for people. I think if we're all frustrated that we can't connect with our family or our friends, and that brings us sadness or depression, flip it. Doesn't that mean that in some sense we now have gratitude and appreciation for just how important our family and friends are? And I think that as a culture, we're learning that right now, that this desire to reach out, to connect, to talk to people, and to engage with people is strong, and so strong that we're fighting for that. And so the fight doesn't have to be a negative. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can be an appreciation. It can be a good thing. It can be a positive spin that I really love my people. I love my friends. I love my family. And resisting that or being told that I can't have that is frustrating and anxiety provoking. So I think that sometimes in life we take these things that frustrate us and we make them bad. But how easily by flipping it and showing a little appreciation or gratitude, we can kind of keep it in more of a positive sphere of, no, these things are important to me. That's why I fight so hard for them. And that's a good thing. So I also want us to reevaluate once we get back into the normal swing of things, you know, if we are in a while, is what is that going to look like? What are the things in our lives right now that we're happy with, that we like, that we enjoy, that we want to keep? And what are the things that we are missing or frustrated by? And really show appreciation for those things, that once this is over and we can have more control and more freedom and more ability, how am I going to get more of those things in my life? And I think that that's a great lesson that we're all learning right now. And I'd like for you guys to explore that. So nothing wrong with journaling, nothing wrong with drawing or writing, or just allowing yourself 15, 20 minutes to sit outside in nature, in peace and quiet, and just imagine and listen and allow your brain to go to all of the places that it wants to go in exploring good things that it would like in the future. So I think that that would be a fun exercise for you guys to dream and explore and use your imagination to look for future ideas of things that you want to incorporate into your life, things that you're going to let go of, things that you want to ban from your life and keep out of your life because they're just unhealthy for you. And I think for families right now, it's a great way to kind of explore how these simple things can bring peace and joy and contentment in our life. And so I think it's a lot of appreciation over that as well. Thanks so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and please feel free to reach out or subscribe at the information below. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.